Okay, now let's continue with what he's saying.
In a national survey, the Tokyo Fire Department found that at least 618 children had suffered convulsions, vomiting, irritated eyes, and other symptoms after watching Pokémon.
Now, this is actually only this one episode, okay? So this is not the entire series that actually caused this actual seizure. It was this one episode of Polygon where it launched an attack and it hit and Pikachu and Polygon were fighting, and then somehow Team Rocket launched some torpedo-like missiles to try and capture either Pikachu or Polygon. And somehow Pikachu set off a lightning bolt, and Polygon set off another beam of energy, and it caused the missiles to explode. And the blue and light flashing lights is what caused the seizure. So, to be honest, it was nothing to do with the show or the Pokemon. It was actually to do with the actual effect of trying to create this bright flashing explosion. So it has more to do with the actual bright flashing explosion. Anyway, let's continue.
Japanese television. Now, working in the mental health field for as long as I did, I can tell you that bright flashing lights will trigger off in occasion seizures and convulsions in kids or even adults that are prone to be epileptic.
Thank you.
But not in 100 and so kids who have no seizure problem. And
you don't know that, therefore you have no right to actually make that statement, because technically speaking that statement is flawed, because anyone could possibly have an epileptic seizure from seeing flashing lights. Therefore, technically speaking, you are totally incorrect, and even if someone had suffered a mild form of a seizure, then it would still happen. So you making that statement to say that not all these kids had some sort of epilepsy or some sort of reaction to the flashing lights, well then, mate, you're the one with the problem. Again, also, what I'm saying is, mate, you're so full of it, mate, because obviously you don't understand. Anyway, let's continue.
No epileptic history. There's something unusual about that. And they went through, and it goes on further to say that they went through and even did CAT scans. And the whole premise was that at the end, they had to conclude that they don't know why it happened.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, man. I suppose we have to do, both you and I probably have to sit down and do a little bit more research on the subject. But I'm pretty sure that it was the rapid flashing of the light is what caused the problem. It was that rapid movement, and the eyes, and people's eyes or brains couldn't keep up with the flashing of the light. But anyway, let's continue.
Is that by coincidence? Or did something happen? And now, parents, if you're not up on Pokemon, you need to be. And one of the things you can do is go out and buy the official Pokemon trading card game player's guide. And you can get this at any store that sells any of the Pokemon stuff. I mean, anything.
Huh. I might actually get one of those.
You can get it like at
I'd like to get my hands on one of
or any
those.
of those places that sell any of the Pokemon. And it says on the back of this, catch them all, then build an unbeatable tournament deck. And one of the things you can do is look through here, because it shows every Pokemon in existence, and it tells you what their powers are, and it tells you how they get weak, and it tells you how they energize and what you need to energize them. But something very unusual is also in this book, and that is that they actually show the energy balls that is used to make these monsters bigger and better. I want you to see them. I hope you can see them from where I am. I'm going to hold it out here so hopefully you can see it. Look at the yellow. What do you see? Lightning bolt. Look here. All-seeing eye.
Okay, yes, you do have a slight point here as far as the power cards go. Now again, this is for the trading card game and not actually part of the actual main game series, so there's not much of actual connection other than the title of the name, Pokemon, and showing some of the monsters that are in the similar characteristics of Pokemon. And yes, you do have a point about the lightning bolt, the eye, and stuff. But again, most of all these, again, you have a point. But the idea of these power cards is to actually level up the actual power that the actual Pokemon has. And again, like I said, that is the part of the psychic type. Again, the psychic type is, as I will say in some of my other videos regarding this, if kids, parents need to know about Pokemon. Again, I don't recommend using the psychic types, but mainly because of similar reasons about like the all-seeing eye or any kind of supernatural side to the psychic type. That's the reason why I don't even bring that up. But anyway.
Everybody see that? Up here is the clenched fist, symbol for rebellion, anarchy.
Yeah, but also a clenched fist is also a sign of power, and it's also a sign of fighting. Physical punching something. So, no, the actual punching symbol, although it has been used for rebellion and stuff like that, you could also say that that little power, like I said, this symbol up here, like this little symbol here, you can say that's a Jewish star if you want. But, like I said, I'm just talking about this anyway.
Right down here is a powerful witchcraft symbol where my finger is. Powerful witchcraft symbol, and it's a symbol for fire.
Now, again, what you're referring to is telling stories in the flame. Again, that has nothing really to do with the Pokemon universe. Looking into candles or looking into flame to get some sort of information from, like some sort of stories, looking into flames and stuff like that. Again, that has nothing to do with Pokemon, since basically they don't use that ability in the Pokemon series. They don't use that ability to like blow out a flamethrower and blow out a flame to see visions or anything like that. Witches do, not Pokemon. But anyway, let's continue.
Down here is another powerful witchcraft symbol, actually a New Age symbol. They call a New Age symbol for Earth.
And yes, I do agree with you that there is a little bit of New Age Gnosticism with Pokemon. I will give you that one. But that the leaf symbol is actually to be sign of actually the grass and leaf type of Pokemon, and ground type of, the ground or land type of Pokemon. Let me just go through these again while we're here. This card is meant, the fist is meant to represent the fighting type. This symbol here, the electrical lightning bolt, is to represent electricity, or lightning or electricity. So basically light, electric type. Again, while we're here talking about this thing, if you consider a lightning bolt as a demonic symbol, then why do we have lightning bolts on our power boxes or things like that to represent electricity? See, technically speaking, that's not a satanic symbol. But anyway, let's get down. The fire, the fire symbol, well, again, it's not really a satanic symbol, because you also have, like I said, on other things, like that of, like I said, a fire. Fire symbol is like a warning symbol for stuff, so you can't really do that. Yes, the all-seeing eye, I will agree, that is a psychic type move, and a psychic Pokemon have the all-seeing eye. Yes, I do agree that there is something dodgy about psychic Pokemon. I'm not going to dispute that one. With the grass type, well, again, the grass type is supposed to be related to Earth and nature. So again, they could be using that symbol for the New Age thing as that. But then again, also Pokemon use crystals to level up Pokemon as well. So that's a New Age thing as well. So I'll give you that one. And also the water type, that's just water. But let's hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, which is a green leaf. And down at the bottom here, this blue ball down in here is the symbol for energy of water.
Yeah. And
water transforms into wind. Earth, wind, and fire.
No, it doesn't. Again, you're mixing up a lot of things. basically in the water system, you can use that card, the water card, again for air, like air or water, because again the actual swirly pattern, that swirly water pattern, is sort of like used for both. But anyway, let's get on with it.
The three basic elements of all witchcraft, Aaron.
No, technically speaking, God created the elements, okay? God created electricity, God created fire, God created the grass and the air and the water. God created elements. So therefore, if you dare say that that elements of nature are of the devil, then basically you're going to have to answer to God for that, because God was the one who created that energy, and created that that stuff. So you cannot say, because elements are used for satanic purposes, that all of it is evil. No, it's not. Anyway, continue.
And I'm going to ask you, parents, grandparents, concerned aunt and uncles, friends, do you think they put that in there by coincidence?
Yeah.
Do you think they just built this game, put these on there, and said, hey, let's just put those symbols on there, they look cool. Kids won't know what they are, but they'll like them because they look cool.
Yep.
Or did they put them on there because they know what the meaning of each one of those symbols is? And they wanted...
Nope. Let's even also...
to desensitize our children to seeing those symbols so much that when they see them in other things, hey, no big deal.
Well, again, man, back to this whole concept. Look, mate, so even if there's a possibility that some of these guys do know what they're doing, they may not even understand too. Because remember, Pokemon and most of these TV shows and movies and stuff dealing with monsters or dealing with anything really don't really even know any kind of implications that it could cause. So therefore, maybe some of the Pokemon, not all of them, but maybe some of the Pokemon and some of the symbols that are shown in some of the cards and some of the games and some of the comic books and so forth are actually, maybe Satan could manipulate some of these people to think, oh yeah, that's cool. So again, maybe even some of the corporate people are even being manipulated. Not just the kids, but the people creating the content too. You can't just sit there and say, oh yeah, it's always the big bad corporate people that are actually causing demonic stuff, when some of them probably don't even know what they're doing either. Look up the Bible verse when Jesus was on the cross. Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So there we go, man. So again, like I said before, I'm not saying that Pokemon is actually evil, although there are some Pokemon I really dispute and debate about. Anyway, let's continue.
There is a devised plan going on for the battle of our children's minds.
Not really, but
There's
anyway.
There's a war going on right now for the children, because Satan wants them really bad. Who better to serve the Antichrist than the youth? And the whole object is to catch them while they're young. Remember the the Pokemon motto? Gotta catch them all?
Huh.
Who do you think feels that way? It's the enemy.
Actually, if you look up the Bible verse, there's also another Bible verse where Jesus says, go out and be catchers of men. So therefore, Jesus was actually the one who actually came up with that phrase, gotta catch them all, referring to people's souls and out there in the spiritual, out there for people to be caught. So, no, Satan didn't originally cause that original phrase, and it wasn't actually corporate people that actually just said that first. Jesus said it first. Hashtag, Jesus said it first. Gotta catch them all. Anyway, let's continue.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta get them while they're young. Gotta induct satanic doctrine. Gotta put these symbols in their spirits. Gotta put these monsters in their heads. Gotta mess up their dreams. Gotta mess up their reality. Gotta break up the family. Have you ever tried to get talking to a child when he's into this game? It's impossible.
Well, actually, that goes for any kind of video game, not just Pokemon. Because the child and children are actually more focused on what they're watching. They zone out. That goes for YouTube videos and a lot of other things as well, my friend. There's a lot of other things that can be tied in that. Again, we should actually be talking to parents about how to help kids deal with things that are addictive and addictions. Anyway, continue.
They spend more time on this Pokemon. And you know what? It's amazing that your child can tell you every Pokemon in existence, even tell you where they get their power, what they do, and how they do it, but they can't tell you what you told them 5 minutes ago.
That's because kids find certain things more entertaining than what you're teaching them. Anyway, let's continue.
They also can't tell you probably what they learned in school that day.
Because it's not entertaining.
And even worse than that, they can't quote you scripture.
Because it's not entertaining.
There's
Sorry,
something
God.
wrong. And I'm talking to the men right now because, you know, men, we've been given an awesome task by God. We have nothing to say about it. You know why? God tells us that we're the priest of our homes. We are the ones who say, we are going to follow God. I don't care what anyone else does, but as for me and my family, we are going to serve the Lord. We are the ones who are supposed to say, this stuff is going to be allowed, and this stuff is out. And ladies, women of God, you've got an awesome...
Well, again, okay, mate, if you can make the Bible more entertaining, or give it some more things, and also, by the way, do you really want to hear stories about where Jesus was beaten to a pulp, tell kids that Jesus was really had his bones broken up, his gum, or he's basically half being stripped naked and mounted on a cross? Do you really want to tell kids all about that? Yeah. Well, again, that's a different kettle of fish. But anyway, more or less, I'm not dissing Christianity because I'm a Christian myself, but there's some things, some stories in the Bible you tell the kids, and there's some things you don't. But anyway, let's continue.
Task us ahead too, because the Word of God says that you're to raise your children in the ways of the Lord. Not in the ways of these Pokemon, not in the ways of witchcraft or Satan worship, but in the ways of the Lord. Are we doing that? Or are we subtly giving in? This is a picture from one of the comic books. Look at this. Pokemon Psychic Surprise. Surprise, all right.
Correction, that is not from the comic book. That is actually a video cover from the actual video cover. That's not from the comic book.
Look at this. This creature right here is called Haunter.
Actually, this one here is called Haunter, that one is called Gengar, and that one up there is called Ghastly. But then again, all these three are actually evolutions of one another, and again, I don't like these guys, and I don't even like this episode, because this episode was not actually a good episode. I think this was supposed to be the episode where Ash and Pikachu fainted, and these guys took the spirits from their body. And again, that's the reason why I don't like the psychic type, and I don't like the ghost type, because of their spiritual connotations. So I do agree with you. This was one episode that should not really be for kids, because it was a nasty episode. I don't like it.
And I talked to 3 kids in 3 different cities who actually came up and told me that they were having bad dreams, and that creature was in their dreams.
Again,
Haunter.
No,
That makes
Gengar.
sense. Haunt? Right?
No. That one is Haunter. That one is Gengar. But anyway, let's continue.
Up here is a creature that's not quite so cute now. This over here is not quite so cute. Little Pikachu down here, he's crying his eyes out. He's not cute, and even Ash doesn't look cute anymore. Psychic Surprise. And you know, going back to those energy balls,
Well, again, to be fair, Zubat up there and Pikachu and Ash aren't bad guys. And they're not even really remotely dealing... Well, they're not really part of the whole... They weren't really that thrilled. As you can see, Pikachu wasn't even thrilled about these Pokemon. So, anyway.
Balls represent that the Pokemon get their power by supernatural occult ability. You saw the symbols. Remember, the materials speak for itself. They give themselves away.
Again, no, the card game is allowing you to use those the power cards, the energy cards, or the power cards in the play, which have the symbols on them, is just so you can actually utilize that ability for the cards. In the actual Pokemon games, it's not like that at all. But anyway, let's continue.
What made that even more evident was two cards. One was called Abra, and the other card is called Kadabra. Abra, Kadabra. And that's an actual phrase. It's an actual name. Listen to this. Webster's Dictionary defines it as a word supposed to have magic powers and hence used in incantations, on amulets, etc., a magic spell or formula.
Well, actually, if you actually Google up the names Alakazam and the actual names, Abra and Alakazam. Well, first of all, let's get this straight up. Again, they're psychic types, and again, I don't like psychic type Pokemon for their connections to spiritual power. And yes, I do agree with that. But then again, these are the psychic type Pokemon, which are considered bad. I do 100% agree with you on that one.
On the Abra card, it says, using its ability to read minds, it will identify impending danger and teleport the user to safety.
Or basically teleport away itself, but yeah.
The Kadabra character has a pentagram on his forehead.
Oh, by the way, that's also Abra, Alakazam, and also there was a third evolution in that. Abra, Alakazam, and anyway, let's continue.
And he has SSS across his chest. And it is the satanic SSS.
How do you know that?
In one particular sect of Satanism, we didn't have it, but I ran into other groups that did. They had tattoos on the inside of their wrist, over their breasts, or on the inside of their thigh, and it was that same SSS. You know what it stands for? Satan's Solemn Servant.
Yeah, and also, while we're on the subject, since we know that you're in satanic circles, how do we know that you yourself isn't still part of those satanic circles? And how do we know that you're also not like this type of still part of that wizardry and satanic stuff, trying to lead people up the garden path as well? How do we not know that either? But anyway, let's continue.
And also, the Kadabra character is always pictured on the card with his left hand giving the satanic salute.
Well, again, I'll have to research that a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure no, that's not the case. Also, the double S is supposed to be just marks on his belly, but it's probably more Nazi-like symbol. So if you want to get more to the point, you could almost consider Alakazam and Abra and its other evolution as well. It's probably being more like Nazis. But anyway, let's continue.
And again, I have to ask you, do you think that's on there by coincidence? Do you think they just made this game and said, hey, let's just throw that in there because it looks good?
Yep.
Let's just throw that in there because it makes it look a little more exciting.
Yep.
Or did they put that in there because they know exactly what it means and they want our children to get desensitized to it?
Nope.
They want our children to be able to look at that and actually one day now, while they're identifying with their favorite Pokemon, reach up and go, hail Pokemon! And what are they actually hailing? Satan.
Nope.
Listen.
Again, look, mate, no. If you look at all the Pokemon in a perspective, not all of them are the psychic or ghost or dark types. A lot of them, most of the time, are fine. But anyway.
Our kids are carrying around these cards like they're magic symbols. About our kids beating each other up on that tried to help his younger brother after his younger brother had his Pokemon card deck stolen from him.
Well, by the way, as far as bullying and fights break out and stuff like that, as far as I'm concerned, that happened with baseball cards. That happened with all different type of collecting cards as well. Not just Pokemon cards. You know, someone stole some cards, so the brother went to go and sort out the other kid and bring him back. So to be honest, that goes with any kind of thing, not just Pokemon cards. So you can't really say that, man. I'm sorry.
Called for the parents. The parents came to pick him up, and you know what he told his father? They were trying to steal my powers.
No, they were trying to steal his Pokemon. He may have misunderstood what you were actually saying. What he's actually saying.
Our kids are taught to believe it's a war designed to attack our children's minds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so first of all, I'll go back to that thing. If the kid did say to his father, look, they're trying to steal his power, it was mainly referring to the power cards, that's what they were trying to get, steal the power cards. That's what it was referring to. Not that the actual child had powers, or the actual cards had powers per se, but rather the power cards used to play the game. Anyway, let's continue.
Very character. And if it gets into our homes, it will wreck family life. Is this. It spits out poison powder to immobilize the enemy and then finishes the enemy with a spray of acid. And Pokemon is a step to bigger and better things in the occult. Cards cost anywhere from $7 to family life. And then finishes the enemy with a spray of acid.
Yeah, well, many animals do that. Okay, people, well, I think I've had enough talking about this guy. I mean, we're very close to the end, and this video's about to end soon. So, overall, this guy's talking a little bit of crap, although some of the things he's saying, some of what he's saying is true, but then again, this guy is a reformed Satanist, or a wizard himself, so how much can we really trust what this guy says? But anyway, guys, catch us all later. Bye!